seems fitting that when we talk about student loans, subsidized and unsubsidized, Soromons, orcs, see the white hand, would be the ones that would bring these videos to you. Same angry face though. And this fellow's got some armor going on. Okay, so a subsidized loan is the one you want. There are income restrictions on it. You have to qualify for them. Subsidized loans means that simple interest that was accruing while you were in school, I equal PRT, is paid for by the government. Paid by the government. Unsubsidized means you're responsible for that interest. So it will be added to the principal once your loans go into repayment, which would be 6 months after you graduate from college. Now, the typical student loan length of time is a 10-year repayment. That's like the default student loan repayment, and that's what our textbook is going to stick with. There is one ALEKS question where they look at private loans that has a different length of time. So this formula, you should recognize this monthly payment formula. It is very similar to the car payment one, where we had P times R over 12 all over 1 minus 1 plus R over 12. Everything's the same. The one difference here is the negative bit that's right here. The car was an N for the number of payments. Here we've got 120. If you think about 10 years and there being 12 months in 10 years and you multiply the 10 times the 12, you get the 120, hence the 120 there. What we should really do is put in here, this bit should really be 12 times t, and then whatever your time or number of years be, you'd put that in, and that would be the number of payments. Don't forget that negative though, right? Because that's got to be a negative. Okay, so this would be, this is the new bit in this monthly payment formula, and it's going to be the same thing for a mortgage. All right, so we're going to calculate the monthly payments on this student loan that we calculated before. So back before, we calculated the principal amount at the time of payments. So if we had an unsubsidized loan, remember the interest we calculated was $1,878.33. That's what the textbook calculated. We also did a calculation with I equals PRT and got it at 50 cents. We're going to stick with what our author used. The initial amount we borrowed was $6,500, but when we go into repayment for a unsubsidized loan, we have to add these two together. So I'm going to put a P unsubsidized PU, PU, because we have to pay more, and we just have to add those two together. So I'm going to do 6,500 plus 1878.33. Now, what's happening here is the interest is being what's called capitalized. So it becomes part of the principal you borrowed. Capitalized. So it's as if you borrowed that interest. I wrote that here. That's what that means. We didn't say it here. So this is the principal that we're going to calculate our monthly payments off of. Recall that the interest rate that we borrowed this at was 0.068. Now the time is 10 years because that's what we're going to assume always with student loans unless otherwise stated. All right. So our little formula is going to look like this. Our monthly payment would be the 8,000, or the principal, this 0.33 times 0.068, cut into 12 equal parts, divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.068 over 12, and then raised to the negative 120 because it's 10 years and there'd be 120 payments. We're going to smash this into Desmos, and we're going to get the monthly payments that we're going to have to make. I forgot to do this little part here to make the division first. I like it when it looks the same as the formula. Whoops. I guess it works. No, it doesn't, because I forgot to divide this by 12. There we go. So we are going to pay $96.42 per month for the next 10 years. It doesn't seem too terrible, right? So our author is stating here, this is what happens when the interest was capitalized. So with interest not capitalized, our monthly payment would be the $6,500 when full payments start, because either we could have paid that interest while in school, because you can do that. You can calculate how much interest you're going to owe and divide that out and pay it each month. So let's calculate the monthly payment, recalculate this. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, Control V, and I'm going to put in here 6,500 and see how much less is that monthly payment. Okay, so the monthly payment ends up being about $74.80 for the subsidized loan, and the difference between those two monthly payments is this. So it is $21.62 per month less. That's that answer to that second question. That's how much we'd save per month had we gotten the subsidized loan, or had we subsidized it ourselves, had we paid it ourselves. So the real question then is, wait, what's the big difference between those two? Like, how much money would we have saved between a subsidized loan and an unsubsidized loan? So let's get the total cost. All right, let me just label this very carefully in here. The total cost between the two. So we're going to take the 96.42 and multiply by 120. We will have paid $11,570.40 had we been forced to take an unsubsidized loan. If we take a subsidized loan, if we were eligible for that, we would have paid $8,976. So what's the difference between those two? $2,600 roughly. That's a great option if we qualify for that subsidized loan. That's the one we should have taken. Now, had we subsidized the loans ourselves, meaning if we paid the $1,878.33, if we dump this in here, we can see how much do we save by paying the interest ourselves while in school. We would have paid $716.07 over the lifetime of the loan. So is that worth it? That's a great question. I don't know. If I divide that out over the 10 months, or the 10 years, I'm saving $5.97 a month. And I don't know. I don't know that that's really worth it, because if I take the 1878.33, what you would have to do is pay $36.83 a month while you're in school. And if that's a hardship, like if you're living paycheck to paycheck while you're in school, trying to feed yourself and your family and whatever else, that might not be possible. And then to save $5.96 a month over the next 10 years, that may not be worth it.